I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Delta. Today I'm joined by John Hill, and we talk about gooning, dead butts, and boobies. But first, do you want to see me go off? Because I think you want to see me go off.
Oh. Mom!
Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta. I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Delta, a luxury public access podcast and YouTube talk show where I look gorgeous, speak extemporaneously, and invite fascinating people to sit on the couch and get very Delta. Very Delta is for the woman who has a statement necklace, a reckless flair, and is always feeling Giovanni. But first, let's get into some things that are very Delta. I love a hotel stay, but I have some questions. First and foremost, I always want to know if there are clean rooms in a hotel and it doesn't affect anyone, why do I always get pushback for an early check-in? I just always feel like if I can get that early check-in, I'm going to be so happy. Because as soon as I get in the room, I have my plan of action. I go in, I pull my suitcases in. I'm crazy, so I have to go in and pull the shower curtain back and see who's in there. And I have to go to wherever the balcony is and open the curtain completely because I want the light coming through just in case there's somebody squatting in the room or somebody crazy is in there or something's going to happen. I want whoever's outside to see me and know that I'm coming in there. Of course, that door is wide open when I'm in there. Now, I do sometimes think, what if I go to that balcony and that door behind me is open and someone sneaks in somewhere? Have you ever seen that video that floats around where somebody's showing their bathroom in the hotel and they like go behind the whirlpool bathtub and there's like a whole crawl space? That's always in my mind. Like connecting rooms. I feel like there's probably some simple way that the person on the other side could probably just get into your connecting room. You know, they show people put like a hanger a certain way or like a washcloth and then you pull. I don't know how it's done. I'm not trying to do it, but I do freak out when I'm in a connecting room and I don't know who's on the other side. I always think in the middle of the night, someone's going to slip through. Something nefarious is going to happen. I don't like that. That's just such a weird feeling. I'm so crazy that when I go to a hotel, like I have to clean the room before I leave. So I make sure and take all my trash. And I don't think it's necessarily crazy. I don't think it's the maid's job to pick up all of your garbage. I think it's their job to sanitize the room, to refresh the room, to change the linens. But I don't think it's their job to pick up all this pizza boxes or beers or whatever people leave in there or packaging from things that they bought. Like that, I think it's your job to sort of get rid of that. Like there's trash cans outside. You can throw that out. I like to make sure that the towels, here's the towels I use. There's the 2 bath towels. There's the 2 washcloths. There's the 2 hand towels. I want them to see that, right? I want to make sure that if I like to bring my own bar soap. It's just me. I like to bring my own bar soap and my own shower gel. And when I'm done with it, I like to take it out and throw it away because I don't want them to like have to go in there and that bar soap, you know how it gets wet underneath and it's like, I don't know, slimy or something. I don't want them to have to deal with that. I'm never really a fan of like lotion or conditioner or any of that stuff. Maybe like little bars of soap. I might take those. But that other stuff, I mean, I'm not going to take any of that. And you know what I always think? I always think that if you go into the shower and it's like, oh, here, you can pump the hair shampoo or the shower gel or whatever. I think people pee in those. I just do. I don't know how they get up there, but I always think, maybe what if somebody spits in that? Or what if somebody else was using that? How do we know? It's like when you go get a hot dog at a restaurant or French fries and you pull the ketchup out. I mean, I'm going to eat it, right? But I am always going to have in my mind, like, oh, I'm using this shower gel. What if somebody's nut is in this shower gel? Like, that could happen. I mean, you could take a black light and see. I don't get it. It's like you go to a hotel and there's like the sign like $250 if you smoke in here. But how much is it for all the nut that's everywhere? Like, people come all over the place. Sometimes you can see, like, you just see yourself, like there's a wing chair and an ottoman, and you know something was happening on there, right? Somebody came back to the hotel at 3:00 in the morning and spread their legs out real wide. And then somebody was, yeah, bouncing, right? People have sex in there. And they don't, like, what's the cleaning fee for that? There's no cleaning fee. There's not. Any hotel. They're worried about that cigarette smoke, but they're not worried about bodily fluids and things. And also, like, people always say, oh, worry about the bed bugs. You have to check for I don't know how to check for bed. I'll lift up the mattress, but I'm like, they're hiding in there somewhere. They're hiding. I don't know where they hide, but I know they hide. People are like, turn heat on, do this, do that. Oh, for God's sake, I'm not doing all that. I don't want to have to do all that. Like, if I just get bit up, well, then I get bit up. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not trying to stay at a roach motel, but at the same time, it doesn't matter how gross or how cheap or how this or how, the bed bugs, they can be in any mattress. They can be anywhere. A hotel stay. I love to stay right by the elevator and right by the ice machine. I do not have a problem with noise. When I fly on an airplane, I have no problem being over by wherever the toilet is. That doesn't bother me. The noise, the traffic, all that, people are like, oh, it's so loud. It does not bother me at all. Maybe that's my superhero power, is that everything bothers me except for noise. Unless it's people chewing. I like the ASMR, whichever it is. I like videos like that. But at the same time, like, I don't want to be at a regular dinner with people listening to them do that, right? Like, I don't want to be chit-chatting. Hi, how are you? Oh, how's your salad? And then I don't want to hear that. But if you intentionally make a video where it's like macaroni in a pot, that's a WAP. Like, if it's that, like, on purpose, I'm down. I'm into it. It's fun. I always have the intention of going to the continental breakfast. I love the idea. When I was in college, I worked as a night audit for Best Western in Norwalk, California. And part of my job was to prepare the breakfast. And I loved that. I loved that job. But the thing is, as a guest, I hardly ever make it to the continental breakfast because, it's done by 10. I'm usually not even asleep in my bed until 3:00 in the morning. By the time I get up, they're closing all that up. Although I will say, I used to stay at the Vagabond Inn in Sacramento, California, and they had the best continental breakfast. They had this delicious yogurt that came from this small place. The yogurt's called Yummy, Yami, and they had peach. And I don't know what it was about this peach yogurt, but it was the absolute best. But this place was attached to a restaurant. So you would walk out of the hotel through the pool area into the back end of a restaurant. They had bacon, they had eggs, they had biscuits. I mean, anything that you can imagine. But what took it to the next level was that they had a carbonated soda fountain. So you could get Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, like any of that was there at a continental breakfast. It was sickening. They would give you a little slip of paper that someone was supposed to check. No one ever checked. It was never a thing. And there was plenty of places to sit and you could eat it there or you could get it to go. I love the idea of that. I'm usually late for a continental breakfast, but I love it so, so much. I love the idea of, if I go in, I want yogurt, I want a piece of fruit. If there is eggs and bacon, yeah, I want all that. I'm usually not going to make a waffle. I'm usually not going to eat cold cereal, but I will go for yogurt, a piece of fruit, ice cold apple juice. Like, that's what I want at a continental breakfast in a hotel. Ooh, I should start getting up for that. They say breakfast is the most important meal. I guess no matter what time you eat it. Do you want to see me take a break? Because I think you want to see me take a break. Today's guest is Gooning. From musical theater to producing to comedy, help me welcome one of the nicest kids in town. It's John Hill.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so starstruck. I never get
Stop
starstruck, but I am such a big fan.
Stop it.
This is
You've
my
seen my
favorite
porn?
I have.
You have?
I've seen you take a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I goon. I'm known as a gooner. A lot of people,
I
they're
can
new
see
to it.
that.
You can?
Yeah.
What is gooning? Tell me.
Gooning, the Urban Dictionary definition is masturbation so intense it becomes a state of meditation, then causes the man to be freed of all social codes of conduct, and then you masturbate yourself into psychosis.
And have you experienced gooning yourself?
I try.
Uh-huh.
You're supposed to edge until you can't. Literally, you lose your mind.
Right.
But I like to release too much, I think. I don't have the time for all that.
Well, I've seen videos of it, and before I knew what it was, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then I realized after seeing the word over and over, but they're like, oh, look at my penis. My penis. Oh, look at my big old penis. Like almost using these like the actual words, not
They
like
say
cock or not
yes.
dick.
They
You know what
say,
I mean?
Harry, this guy, and their eyes are crossed and they're going, Harry.
Yes. Oh, my penis. Oh, my penis. Like, why? Maybe it's that it feels that good.
Right. I mean, I'm so entertained and fascinated by that kind of behavior. And I thought the definition was so funny that I set it to music and I wrote a song and I just released it. It's called Gooning. It's really funny.
You just released
It's beautiful, actually.
a song.
It's a beautiful song.
Released a song. Well, the thing is, and I'm making light of. But listen, if somebody reaches that height of pleasure, I say fucking go for it, right?
They're into it. It's
Yeah.
what they love. This guy, I mean, I like watching weird shit like that. I'm pretty plain. I'm pretty vanilla,
Mhm.
but I love to watch like a girl squirting
Oh, okay.
or a guy gooning. I want just someone who is going all the way off.
What about when you see people that can actually self-suck?
Get
That's
outta
like,
here.
how do you break your back into that?
Get out of here. That's a natural. God
wild.
gave you that.
But do you think if somebody was self-sucking, like if you could self-suck, would it be like getting your dick sucked or would it be like sucking a dick? How would that feel?
Somewhere in between. Like I hate being 69.
Okay.
It's too much at once. Just one. I need one clear cut thing that's happening.
Mhm.
I think it might be like sucking dick if I could self-suck. I think the pleasure would come from having it in my mouth, not feeling.
So this is a good start. I mean, I feel like this is classy. I feel like this is tell me about the show every Tuesday.
Oh, my show, The John Hill Show on SiriusXM. I've been doing this show for 10 years. It's had a couple different titles, but Andy Cohen and I co-host a show on Radio Andy, SiriusXM Channel 102 at 7 a.m. in the morning live on the air. And then every Tuesday I do my own solo show for an hour with luminaries such as yourself, although you've passed on us a couple times.
Have I?
You have, but it's okay. It's early in the morning.
When
It's
did I
fine.
pass on you?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Did you send me a message?
No, they reached out professionally. I don't like to slide in DMs.
Why?
I don't know.
Does
I
that
feel
seem
like
weird?
Not weird, but I don't open them as much
Uh-huh.
anymore because I've received some weird shit. But I'll slide into you.
Oh God.
I'll do it right now.
What time? 8 o'clock in the morning?
8 o'clock in the morning.
I'd have to start getting ready for you about 5, I would say. I'm not going to eat the night before, for sure. The day
No.
before.
And don't clean out.
No, I have to. I have to.
You don't have to be in drag either.
Oh, it takes me out of it. That
Okay,
takes me
come.
out of it. Oh, I'm planned to.
I'm in drag today.
You are?
I put too much bronzer on just to,
I think you know what you're doing because it
Blend
looks
in.
beautiful.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Let me see your shoes. I
Okay.
like these shoes.
I got red for these when I went to I'm an Emmy loser. I was nominated for an Emmy, but yeah, people came for me. They're like, "Look at those big old shoes." I looked good at the Emmys. I'm sorry. I dressed up. I never get to dress up. I dressed up. I looked good. I looked snatched.
Why would they make fun of your shoes?
Like those big old shoes, and these are from Essence. Like they were expensive.
Yeah. What award were these people up for?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Judgy,
Mhm.
mean, hateful
Mhm.
troll award of the century.
I had people say mean things to me too because, well, for a million reasons, but one of which was sometimes it's, I especially think in the big and tall category,
Sure.
it's all about tailoring. And if you
Yes.
don't have something properly tailored, and I thought I did have my jacket tailored just because I was listening to the tailor. And then when I saw the pictures, the shoulders were out to here. And I felt good, but I realized moving forward, you have to have a better eye on that because it'll really, that proportion will make a big difference, don't you think?
Pants? Are you
Yeah.
kidding? I'm a very big and tall person, and they came for me for the same thing, and they were right. They were right. I don't have, it's hard to find pants that fit me. What do you do when people come for you? Do you respond to comments?
Sometimes I do because I feel like it is a learning lesson because usually I say to people, which is the truth, what you're saying doesn't hurt my feelings because
Right.
I know, I get it, but it hurts my sensibilities that you think that it's okay just to go up to somebody and go, I just want to let you know I'm watching this video and I do not like that shirt on you.
Right.
But you like that shirt. That's why you're wearing it.
Right.
And so I feel like, did you ever see the movie Martha Inc.?
What's that?
It's like the Martha Stewart movie.
Oh, yeah. With Sybil Shepherd? Yes.
She was at Kmart and they had all the towels. They said, this is your line. This is what it's going to look like. And she felt it. And she's like, no, this needs to be better. And they were like, well, this is the price point. This is what we can do. And she said, go back and figure out because my job is not to bring myself to America's standards, but to bring them to mine.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa. Whoa, dude, I'm into it. I was so into it because I thought, well, and so that's like when people say stuff, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You can just look at something and go, oh God, I hate Delta, and just go like that. Why is Delta coming up? But then it's always like when people will comment something and they'll make a reference to something else that they saw of me, and then I'll go look at their page and they don't follow. But you've been looking at a lot of stuff.
Right.
That you're that bothered.
If I see someone say something that I don't like in someone else's comments, I will go block them.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people call on the radio, they'll be like, why am I blocked? And it's like, I don't block. I block on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably posted something on the New York Post saying something mean about gay people or something. So I love blocking.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's easy, but you don't have to really deal with it anymore. What is a hill, John, you would die on?
Something involving road rage, probably.
Oh, tell me.
Probably bad drivers.
Do you drive?
I do drive, but I'm counting the days until I don't know, get it revoked. It is in the way of my mental wellness at this point.
Okay, what are some things that bug you about people?
Looking around like you have your head up your ass,
Mhm.
not paying attention, and being on the phone.
Yeah.
I see it all day. I would rather look over at someone at a stoplight and see them smoking a crack pipe than looking at their phone.
Yeah.
I really would.
It's intentional. Yeah. This is what I don't get. People that are going to be making a right turn into maybe a neighborhood, a street, a business, and they stay right in the middle of the lane and then they stop and then they turn. I need you to hug the curb so bad.
Let's keep it moving.
Please just hug the curb, please, because if you do that and you get far enough over, you're going to get over quickly. This traffic is nothing's going to happen. We're going to keep going.
Yes.
Like this. I love that. I need that.
Yellow lights, if you don't know how to turn left,
Yeah.
you're going to wait till it's not going to turn green before it turns red. So
Right.
it is yellow, and that means you and 3 people behind you get to turn left. Otherwise, we're all going to be stuck at Highland and Beverly
Right.
this whole fucking day.
Yeah. What about, are you somebody that likes to take like Uber, Lyft? Do you do that ever?
Yes, I do, because I hate parking as well. I hate paying for parking. Especially in LA, you go downtown to see a show and it's $30. They want
come on.
30. Sometimes they want 50.
Yeah.
So I will Uber down. I Ubered to the Emmys because they wanted $50 to park. Fuck that.
That's what we did.
Yeah, you're an Emmy winner.
I am.
I know. Where's your statue?
My mother has the statue at her little like makeup dressing table. I know, it's cute.
Nice.
What about, are you a person that will put like in the notes, like no talking to the Uber, like
I say no talking.
no talking?
I mean, I don't specifically, that's just like a setting that's clicked. Just because you get, back in the day, I used to save money to Uber Pool. Do you remember Uber Pool?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a car when I first moved to LA, and I was like Uber pooling, and I heard some shit in those cars. I got someone who was an astrologer. I had someone who was a financial analyst. I had Starbucks, and he was like, you know what? I have to interject. It's none of my business, but you really got to stop going to Starbucks. You're wasting our money. They were right, but I didn't ask for that
Right.
at that moment in time.
Right. What about, do you like the temperature a certain way? You like it warmer? Do you roll the windows down? Ice cold?
I do like it ice cold.
I like it ice cold too.
Yeah, I cannot be hot.
Mm-hmm.
I sweat.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you like a head sweater? Your underarms everywhere?
If I'm eating something spicy, not like a masochist. If I'm just regular, I don't know what it is, like spicy Thai food or something, my face will melt off.
Really?
I think it's like some sort of, I don't know, Nordic problem
It could
with
be.
spice. And I don't like sweat. I know these kids today love sweat. They want to
Right.
like, I love the smell and the sweat. Not for me.
Do you wear like scented deodorant, unscented, no deodorant?
Okay, so my father died, and he had dementia and Alzheimer's. Was really tragic. But I started reading all this research about the causes of that shit, and it's all aluminum deodorant.
Yeah.
So I don't use that shit anymore. But I smell good
Yeah.
because I don't want to smell bad either. I'd rather get Alzheimer's than smell bad.
Do you use like the Rock, or what do you like?
No, I use a Weleda sage deodorant. You can get it from Whole Foods.
Oh, okay.
It works like a charm.
And is that like because a lot of places do the creams now?
Spritz. I won't do a cream.
Okay.
A cream feels like you're putting lube up in here.
Have you ever had to put lube in your underarm?
I have. I've had a lot of people pay good money to fuck my armpits.
Really?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No, but I
Wait,
would.
that's a thing though, maybe.
I think so.
It
As I'm doing research for Gooning and squirting, Lord knows I've seen a lot of people jacking stuff off with their feet and shit.
Yeah. So many people I know have like, a Patreon, an OnlyFans, a forfeit, whatever. There's so many different versions of that because I feel like we really are in a great place.
Yes.
Where people can say, this is what turns me on. This is what I do. This is what I like looking at. It's not hurting anyone. When I'm done, I clean up my mess. And then I return to it when I need to return to it. Right?
That's right. There is some stuff out there. There is something for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody. I love that.
It should be.
I'm going to be launching mine. I keep saying I'm going to do it.
What would your specialty be?
I'll tell you, but first let's take a break. We are back with John Hill. We're talking about off camera, just about this idea of like your show that's live versus a pre-taped show. And I can remember in high school in the 90s, I used to listen to Coast to Coast.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that at the time was kind of the only sort of storytelling, spooky, what was really happening. And I didn't know at that time that podcasting or talk shows on Sirius or anywhere like that would be a thing.
Right.
I don't even know when it all took hold.
I agree. Yeah, I was working at Sirius and doing radio shows before it had even podcast blew up. And I remember when I was there, it was Serial was the first big that everyone around us in our office was like, oh shit. That was the big thing. And they were like, okay, this is going to revolutionize what everyone's doing. But we just kind of kept doing our thing because the radio is always just going to be the radio. But I'm telling you, what you do is so much harder because it's like a little bit of a different skill, but it's over in an hour. You don't have to do any prep. I mean, we do prep, but like not that kind of prep.
Right.
But we, a lot of times something will take a tangent. And you're so good at that if something pops up naturally from a caller, you can go off on that tangent and that becomes the show. And it's exciting to go, oh, this is what our show is about.
And that's interesting that you say that because I think about when people, because of the social media or clips of things are taken out of context. Things are meant to be click this so you can hear the rest of the conversation. That's the idea. But there are people who will say, oh, it's so funny when you say XYZ. How come you don't come do this or that? And I'm like, a stand-up comedy show is entirely different than going extemporaneously about pizza versus taking calls. It's all different. And some people, because you have worn so many hats as a producer, as a writer, as an actor, as a comic, as a host. I mean, you literally do all of that, including taking naughty pictures of yourself. But you're able to do that really, really well.
Thank you.
How are you able to wrap yourself all around that to literally then becoming Emmy nominated for that type of work?
I think because I've been in the entertainment industry since I was 9.
Wow.
Like always in a show, I was on Broadway for several years. That was like the first chunk of my young adulthood, and then came out here and worked in TV for so long, producing big shows, then wrote on big TV shows. And then after a while, I realized I was super unhappy producing. And then I started I just started performing more. And then on the radio is where I found that I was happiest. I'm best at when I really just rip you off. I extemporaneously speak about whatever happens to pop up.
I think people like to hear, I think we all learned, especially during the pandemic, that we all like to hear from one another.
Yeah.
And we all like to hear that we're not crazy.
Right.
We absolutely want the pizza to be this way. We absolutely want the drink to be this way. We absolutely want to tip for amazing service. We want to go above and beyond and support one another, but we also want to be able to go off and be like, why I can't be the only one, right? I can't be the only one.
Every single time I try to tap my fucking card or swipe it or slide it, I think of you going off.
Do you?
Because every time it's the presentation of the person doing it saying like, oh, just go ahead and tap your card. But you know full well that this machine doesn't do the tap. So you just tell me now this. And some girls will do it. They'll be like, this tap doesn't work. Go ahead and shove it in. So you do that. Thank you for saving me 2 seconds.
Right. Or the thing
this shit doesn't work.
Yeah. And you're tapping it and you're like.
And then they move it 1 inch. They go, it's here.
It's here.
Like you were supposed to know.
Well, why didn't you tell me that?
Yeah, I don't work here.
Or what about, have you ever gone to, this is before tap, when you're sliding your card and then they get like a plastic bag and put it over the card? Have you ever, ew, just, you know what? I'm not hungry anymore.
Like
I'm good.
We have robots who can take care of our elderly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can't let me pay for this coffee, right?
Right. Is it that hard?
Like, look at the advancements we've made, but stuff is still so hard.
Do you ever pay for stuff with cash?
No.
See, I don't either.
I went to London and I got there and I was like, oh shit. I remember back in the day, you go like on a trip to Mexico and your parents would be like, let's go get pesos.
Right.
And then you go. But like, I got to London, I was like, oh, I didn't get any pounds or anything like that. And I never needed them.
No.
Tap, tap, tap.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever burp when you're doing your show? I just burped right now as I'm listening to you. But I tried to like quell. So I was like, this is how I did it. Like I looked at you and I was like, so if you saw this, it was me trying to push down.
I thought you were throwing up at me.
Earlier I wanted to throw up. I did. And then I was like, no, it's not that. It's a burp.
What made you want to throw up?
So I was on a trip. And the thing for me is like my anxiety will make me do things that I didn't know that my body was capable of doing.
Yes.
I'm an admittedly and obviously sedentary person.
Love it.
I know that is probably only going to last a couple of years before things start falling off. So I'm going to have to realize that there could be a quick turnaround on that. However, I was going down the jet bridge and the whole thing moved, everyone with us. So we all fell. But my anxiety was like, people are going to be like, oh, look at this weeble wobble. Like, oh my God, he cannot even. So I just jumped up. And I was like, wow, I was capable of lifting everything up without even a handrail.
Because you were scared.
Because I was scared that people were going to laugh at me, right? So I was like, oh, no. Ha, ha, ha. Just took a tumble. Like, try to laugh it off, right? Well, that's fine until the next day you realize something had to help you up. And I had pulled the only muscle, like, between like my leg and my groin. And I was like, wait, there is muscle here somewhere. Like, I didn't know that there was.
Yeah, you got muscle in there.
It's there. It's just never been used.
Well,
and it was used. So the pain was just so incredible that I was like, I think I'm going to vomit.
Yeah, no, I get that. Maybe we should just scare each other into doing the things we need to do.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I would love to be vegan because I feel like I've had so many good vegan meals. And I feel like what a wonderful ethical choice and all of those things. But I'm so goddamn lazy. I would never.
It's a lot of effort.
It is.
I tried it once for a boyfriend that I really liked during the pandemic. And I pretended to be vegan too. Like, oh yeah, me too. Yeah. I love that. I love Morningstar nuggets.
No,
yeah.
Stop.
And it was like, talk about wanting to vomit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I realized this, like this is an ethical choice. A donut fits on top of there. Right. And so you can like at least hold the space.
Yes.
And have everything like that. Do you eat donuts? Drink Diet Coke together?
I love donuts. Donuts, I think, might be my favorite food.
Really? What's your donut if we go to the donut shop?
Plain ass. I like a plain or a chocolate iced.
Like a plain
I don't
cake?
need a fancy artisanal. I don't need any. Don't mess with my
A cake or a raised?
arrays.
Okay, good. Like a glazed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather eat like 12 glazed, straight up, good ass yeasty donuts.
Right.
Than like a cronut with an Oreo crumble.
Would you eat an apple fritter?
Yeah, if it was hot.
You know, the thing about an apple fritter
And a
is
cinnamon roll.
Yeah, when you get about a quarter of the way through, you know there's trouble. You're like, because you stop and you're like, and it like kind of hurts, and you're like, I don't think this was even a quarter of this was intended for one person, and you can't really save it. But I tell you what, you can do. You can put it in the air fryer and crisp it up.
Damn, I have an air fryer. I've never used
What?
it. Everyone always says that. They're like, it'll change your life. The shit doesn't have, it has one circular knob.
Right.
And what does it do?
Well, I think we ask too much of the air fryer too.
Okay.
Everybody wants everything in the air fryer, and I don't want everything in the. I would actually like to have, if I'm going to eat French fries, I want them to be greasy, salty, and crispy.
I saw some bitch making salmon nuggets in an air fryer.
Oh, get away from me.
And how am I supposed to do that? Put wet fish in that little basket?
How? Put a fucking wet fish in a basket? Put in wet fish. Wet fish. You grew up in Texas.
I did.
Do you return to Texas ever?
I don't.
I don't.
When I grew up in Texas in the 90s, it was great. It was liberal where I lived. Clinton was in office. We had a gay-straight alliance at my high school. We had a trans girl. We had it all. And then when I left and came back like 8 years later, it had just changed. So there are pockets that are still like that. But even my hometown looks different. I grew up in San Antonio, kind of outside of Austin, in between. And it just looks, it's different. People were not as... I mean, I don't want to say crazy, but they really weren't. It seemed like I was gay as fuck.
Right.
And like everybody knew it.
Well, I feel like, wasn't there a moment where like almost as a nation, like we were almost okay? Like the gays were like, everything was like, I think we're going to be okay. I think we've made some headway. We're not getting beat up. No one's really that concerned. Like, yeah, we had to make some waves here and there, but there was a moment where it felt like we got over this thing.
Right.
And now it's like...
It got worse.
It's worse.
No offense. I mean, I know it gets better, everybody, but...
But we're fighting all day long.
Like, this is shit we already talked about.
Right.
You know, back in the day, that's what I think. I'm like, aren't we past all that?
Right.
And what's going to happen, what does happen is the people who are meanest, like in high school, the most bullyish people, they all had kids, and those kids are now gay and trans. So then they write me DMs saying, sorry, I bullied you. You know, because now they get it.
Yeah,
but that's just the cycle of life.
They do. It's weird. I feel like since you were raised in Texas, you've probably been around a ton of Hispanic people.
Well, I'm such an idiot. I should speak Spanish, but for some reason we took French in high school. Why was he doing that?
We were also square dancing.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, we didn't learn how to do our taxes.
I grew up on Tex-Mex though. Like that was like our main cuisine.
It's so different.
Tex-Mex is down and dirty and gooning.
It's good.
It's so fucking good.
What do you order at a Mexican restaurant?
I'm a refried bean queen.
Okay.
Like anything refried beans, but I probably get enchiladas. I don't even fuck with fajitas. I want something dense, thick, wet, like pretty wet, you know?
Wait, say it again.
Pretty
dense,
thick, dense, and pretty wet.
Those are in my bio, actually. In all of my bios. Dense, wet, thick, gooey, gooning. Those are all, and that's how people know me.
And creamy.
And creamy. And creamy.
That's what I want on my platter. And I want a big platter, you know, and I want a side of tortillas. And I want a unlimited bottomless, thin, very crispy chips.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Salty.
I read this meme that said something to the effect of going out with your friends, eating chips. And they said, just remember that each tortilla
I saw this same
is
fucking
cut into 4. So you just ate 38 tortillas before your food got there.
Ugh, that made me so mad when I saw that. Fuck, who is going to take the time to point out, so what?
Yeah.
I would eat 50. There was a day, I used to live next to this girl in my cul-de-sac named Jenny. Jenny. And she would drive us to school, and on Fridays it would be liquid breakfast, and she would raid her parents' alcohol cabinet, and we would put Sky vodka in like a Sonic Route 44 cup.
Okay.
We would drive to Taco Cabana. Do you know Taco Cabana?
Mm-hmm. I've never been, but I know of it. Is it everything?
Fucking everything.
Really?
Everything. Here's the thing about Taco Cabana. It's the best food in the world.
Okay.
But you drive through, you could get 20 tortillas for 99 cents. So we would get, and she was anorexic, so she would just eat a little bite of tortilla all day long with that Sky vodka and that Route 44. And that was food. And it was just $1. And we would just kind of split them and then throw the rest away. Wow. And then you could also drive through the drive-through at Taco Cabana and get a pitcher of frozen margaritas in your car.
Yes. Yes. Do you like margaritas?
Here. Oh, I don't drink, but I used to.
You don't drink anymore?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you like? If you had, would you?
I used to be a drunk.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Something that you would drink? Like, what was your go-to?
Well, it depends on what I wanted to accomplish. Like, if I wanted to fuck up an event or like ruin someone's wedding,
okay,
I would go tequila gimlet.
I remember thinking, my friend Philip, when we were first doing drag, he was known as Tyra, and he was always like, "Oh, sister, we have to have gimlets because gimlets are vintage." And we thought we were very vintage. We always had a rose in our hair.
They taste good.
And they were good.
Just lime juice.
Yeah, it was so good. You know,
what's your sign?
Aquarius.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I just burped. Did
See,
you see that?
did. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
I'm not even drinking it. It's a Celsius.
But you're not even drinking it.
I know, but because I pounded one on the way in as well.
Pounded is also in the bio.
No, this replaces alcohol. Like if I need a bump of energy, I'll just like swallow that.
So wait, what's your sign?
Double Scorpio with a Pisces moon.
Double Scorpio. I prefer brown bottle to double Scorpio, but I could do double Scorpio.
Yeah.
What do you feel about a poppers culture?
It was like instant migraine to me.
Mm-hmm.
We would do them for fun sometimes. I don't need my ass to expand that much or anything like that.
I don't even think that really happens,
right?
Does it?
I'm not into poppers culture, to be honest. And if someone's doing, what I don't like is when you see in the films, poppers just not enough for these kids anymore. They will douse a rag or a t-shirt and then bite on it between their teeth so that they can just inhale only poppers.
Wouldn't that burn or something?
Extreme.
It seems like it would burn your skin.
Yeah, that shit is not good to breathe in.
Do you think that there's a difference between this and this? You ever see people, some people go like this and some people go like this.
A guy sent me a video the other day going like this.
Oh, like just the fingers?
Like, yeah, like outward. And I thought that took me out.
See, I feel like this is like frenulum or something. Like that has a word to it, right?
Well, this is jelking.
Okay.
You know about that?
Say it, like describe it. Jelking.
Jelking.
Like
that's
along the side.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is vas deferens?
Oh, well.
That's inside. That's entirely different.
That's what
sounding. Do you sound? Have you ever heard? Oh, that is frightening. I cannot imagine.
I don't want that shit in my hole.
Oh my God. How could that even? Can you imagine if you went to the doctor and the doctor was like, "Hey, here we go. No way in hell."
My pussy.
Yes, no way in hell.
I don't know. I don't like that. I don't even like my balls to be fucked with that much because they're
Right.
so sensitive.
Right.
And if somebody like sucks them the wrong way or, touches them the wrong way, it's just instant. I can't. So anything, I would not want a metal rod shoved in my urethra, no.
Well, I think everybody has like a thing. Like some people love, like, in addition to masturbating, they might do like nipple play or
I like.
But some people will like go in and they're like ripping your fucking skin off. And then some people are like lightly, like everyone has their own thing, I think.
I just want my nipples to be just touch them like this, and every few seconds just sort of move it to a different position, but just touch.
Yeah, you don't need like a fishing hook put in it and then like torn.
Are your nipples sensitive?
Yes.
Yeah.
But see, I'm Hispanic, so I have like dinner plate areolas.
Oh, I love that though. So do I.
You do?
They're kind of big, yeah.
Yeah, but they go down to normal if I'm cold. I'm like, ooh. Then they're like normal, and they're like, oh, hi, I'm a girl. Like they're like small, but then like otherwise they're just like, they're all like this in a way. I don't know how to describe it.
Like a big whoopee cushion.
Let's take a break. We are back with John Hill talking about his sensitive nipples and my dinner plate areolas. Do you have dead butt syndrome?
Oh, Sometimes I think I do.
Really?
Yeah, I was just fascinated by the fact that the New York Post and these news outlets wanted to do profiles on dead butt syndrome.
Which is?
It's just when your butt falls asleep. I just thought it was so stupid. But whose butt doesn't fall asleep? Mine's asleep right now.
Yeah. Well, we've been in the same spot for a while.
Yeah.
If you go on like a road trip, like would you ever drive to Palm Springs? Drive to Las Vegas, something like that?
I hate the desert, but yes, I have driven to Palm Springs and to Vegas. But I just I know that Palm Springs is cute and chic and whatever, but it's not for me.
It's not for you.
But yes, I have driven long distances.
And are you a person who stops, or you're like, I want to take the fewest stops as possible?
I want to take the fewest stops possible. I would rather pee going 80 miles an hour into an
In a
bottle. With a small hole, and get it everywhere, and make a mess. I don't want to stop. I don't want to deal with gas station, the key, and the key is on the wooden thing, and maybe they do have a bathroom, maybe they don't, and then you have to buy a Celsius to get access to that. Just pee, or just pee on the side of the road if you have to.
Right.
I used to stop at Long John Silver's every time I went to Palm Springs because there's one on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't even have. I'm too lazy to do that either.
Do you know what is also on the way to Palm Springs that you might not know about?
What?
A KFC buffet.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
I live next to a KFC and it's delicious, but I've never been to a buffet.
Yeah, they have a full buffet. I mean, they
All
did.
You can eat?
I don't know if they still do. Yeah. I don't know if they still do. This is as of maybe 10 years ago. So that might have changed with COVID and everything like that. This is the part of the show called Read Me Delta. People send in their letters, questions, queries, usually not comments because we don't like to read those. If you want to send in a letter, you can send it to readmedelta@gmail.com. They will absolutely get to us at some point. Hey, why is this in here?
Ooh.
I'm going to take a picture of you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Read me Delta!
Oh, thank you.
Would you open this letter?
I'd be honored. Thank you for handing it to me handle first.
Right? You
Safety.
have to. Do you use letter openers at home?
I don't open my mail.
Mm.
I hate mail.
Really?
Unless it's some sort of check.
Right.
La La Land.
Stupid.
Dear Delta and gorgeous guest, it's officially summer and I tend to get a lot of anxiety about going places where it's customary to be shirtless. I struggle a lot with body image issues, so I will usually wear a shirt even when it's hot. The only issue with this is that I also hate getting a farmer's tans and sweating through the material. Is it very Delta to wear a shirt or tank top at the beach even if it's hot? What are some ways I can deal with this issue in a way that is more comfortable? Love, very Matt.
Well, I don't personally like going to the beach. I don't like. I have a swimming pool, so if I want to do that, I'll use my swimming pool.
Lucky.
But I don't want to be anywhere outside enjoying it when the sun is on me.
Right.
I don't like that heat. I don't like that feeling. I understand being nervous. I don't know if you well, I think whether you're in the queer world or the straight world, wherever you are, obviously, we compare ourselves to other people and we want to feel great about ourselves. So it only takes one person to say or look at you a certain way and it'll activate that thing in you that's like, I'm so gross, because you'll always go to that one part that is so sensitive and you'll want to wear your shirt, and you shouldn't have to do that. The reality is that if that's what makes you more comfortable, and until you can get to that point, I would say not deprive yourself from doing what it is that you want to do. I can't, like you said about the desert, I love the beach, but when people are like, let's make sandwiches and go sit at the beach, why would I want sand in my food?
I have witnessed someone bring an egg salad sandwich
Never.
to the beach, and I haven't seen them since.
Never.
It was shocking. A full one, a big one.
Do you have to be convinced to put your shirt back on?
Oh, well, I was going to say.
You like taking your shirt off?
I do, but I never did before a couple years ago. I was really unhealthy, especially during the pandemic. I was really, really just all I ate was OxyContin. It was really, I was bloated and so unhealthy. And then when my father got sick, I got really obsessed with health. So I started eating right and working out and everything. But before that, I never took shit off. I went to Hawaii, and my tip for you, very Matt, get yourself one of those long sleeve Japanese sunscreen shirts. They are thin and they look so cute. And
Okay.
and then everyone, they don't think, oh, they're covering up because they don't feel comfortable. They go, they're taking care of their skin because you don't want to get skin cancer.
Right.
They look cute, they're thin, and it's protective.
Yeah.
I like to wear
that.
mine. Yeah.
Have you ever worn a face bikini?
I'm trying to picture that. No.
Yeah.
Where does
Just
that
like
go?
It's like, I think they're intended originally for
Like a burqa?
No, like when you go skiing, like to prevent like your face and like, so there's just like eye openings.
And a mouth.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've worn one of those.
You have?
Yeah. I like a ski mask.
Yeah.
I actually don't like a blindfold type of encounter. Yeah.
Or being like having no access to like movement.
No. Yeah. I just want a straight up plain.
I feel like that in some ways that's less about sexuality.
Right.
Right?
Yes. That's what I always think. And I know that dominatrix stuff, I have a friend who's a dominatrix. But for me, I don't see the appeal.
Right.
I don't know who's doing what.
Maybe I always wonder, is it people who want to become submissive in that way, maybe have to make so many decisions throughout a day, and they have to like.
That's what they say. Yeah,
that's what I would
Wall Street
imagine.
types, powerful men need to balance.
They
that
need
out
the
with
release.
being degraded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
don't like pain.
You do.
I do not.
You do not.
Do not step on me. Don't twist anything. Don't rip anything out.
No.
Just no.
Have you ever been in drag?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many times.
So many times.
Yeah.
Do you have drag stuff at home?
Yeah.
Like if you had to get a drag right now, could you get fully in drag?
Yeah.
Makeup and everything.
Yeah.
I live. I knew it. Oh, and I bet it's sickening too.
No, it's not.
Yes,
It's so
it
ugly.
is.
No, I'm not. I have a lot of like, you change when you put on drag. Like
Yeah.
And the person I become is, well, first of all, like predictably a whore. But like my name is Portia Control.
I love that.
Lots of frosted lipstick. I don't know. She's kind of like a Paris Hilton-y type of gangbangy. I don't know. She's a slut. But my bone structure does not lend itself to a female.
Oh my God. I think that's so fierce. I feel like drag is like honestly a rite of passage for anyone.
Yes.
But I feel like as I was raised for queer men, it's something that
there
you
are pictures
do?
from me when I was 5 years old, dressed up in heels, ripping up. Like I would take my sister's Wonder Woman cape, make that into a dress.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I popped off.
I live for that. Portia Control.
Yeah.
Hi, Delta and special guest. I just discovered your show and I absolutely love it. Here's my question. What do you think about settling down with a man that you know will never sexually satisfy you? He has money. You find him funny. He is a great cook. I do please him orally, but he does not reciprocate and we will never, ever have sex. Do I stay? Do I go? What's a girl to do? Sincerely, Dry Kitty. P.S. Pardon the brevity of grammatical errors. This message was sent from my iPhone.
Is that from the baby reindeer lady?
I think it could be. I think it could be. What do you think of that?
No,
No?
I think that you have to have a little sex. I think you have to be satisfied.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? What's the next step for this person? Is there a conversation that has to happen, or
If the person's if you're servicing the person and they're not reciprocating it, and you're to the point where you're going to write into Very Delta and say, what should I do? I think you need to break up.
I think you have your answer. I mean, I think you're right. I think all those steps you just said, it's scary, I'm sure, but it's necessary. And anytime we make any change in our life, it's like, especially if you're comfortable, and then you realize like, oh my gosh, it's never going to be the same. Maybe I should just live this way. Maybe I should, this is just my life is supposed to be this way. It's not. It's not supposed to be that way.
Change is scary.
Change is scary, but honestly, you have to go through it to get over it, right? And so it's going to be uncomfortable for a minute.
Practice acceptance.
Yeah.
Just say, oh shit, I'm going to have to go through a breakup
Right.
now. But once you do, you're going to be glad you did.
Yeah. I mean, based on your letter, I mean, you definitely have to have your ducks in a row. So no one's saying like, go pop off this second, but.
Or okay, the compromise would be you say to the person, hey, you don't sexually satisfy me. Can I go get my back blown out by whoever I want? And
Right.
restate it, because a funny, smart, cool friend person to be with is rare. So maybe you do say, can I let the scoochie breathe in other
Right.
spaces?
Do you throw your ass in a circle sometimes?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to in the car?
90s lesbian, like Lilith Fair music.
Oh, I love this. You know, me and my friend Lori just went to the Paula Cole concert.
I interviewed Paula Cole on my show.
Stop.
She did the interview on the phone from a hammock in her at her barn or something.
Stop it.
I lived.
Okay, so when we went, we pulled up and it was at Cal State LA. It was like a month ago.
I live.
We pull up and you have to go into like this regular parking lot, the little paid lot. And we pull up and Lori goes, "Oh my God, look over there." And it's this woman is doing yoga. Right? Just stretching and doing these things. And I was like, "What are we looking at?" She's like, "That is Paula Cole."
Yes,
I'm like,
bitch.
"Oh, it is not Paula Cole." She goes, "It says artist entrance right there. And that is all her beautiful white hair."
Yeah.
And so we were looking, and then Lori starts like recording. And I was like, "Stop recording," because, you know, she's not going to want you to do that. She doesn't see you, and it's going to be a little bit of an invasion of privacy. She was like, no, we're not going to post it. We just want to prove that we got to see her. So then I like, out of nowhere, I'm like, "We love you." And she goes, "Thank you for coming to my show." It was the night.
She's so
beautiful
nice.
show. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
The best singer. I mean, she
The
was
best.
touring with Peter Gabriel before her first album came out. She has Voice of the Gods, but you know that story she's told on social media recently about she signed a bad deal and doesn't make money from I don't want to wait.
Right.
Yeah.
That happens to so many people.
It makes me so mad.
It's so
That
weird.
song is never not playing at a CVS.
Right.
Pay her.
Right.
Give her money.
Do you use coupons from CVS?
What I do is I type my little phone number into the keypad. And if it automatically says, "Here are the coupons," go for it. Did you say coupon or coupon?
I said coupon, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't know.
How do you say it?
I say coupon.
That could be. I mean,
I think it's coupon is right.
I think it's either one.
I think coupon is correct.
I don't know.
It's more Texas country to say coupon, which that's me.
I like it though.
But if you type in your little phone number, they learned because nobody's clipping coupons right now.
Right.
So it will automatically say, okay, out of these items that you're buying, you're eligible for this, and I will save money that way. But I can't clip a coupon.
Do you use apps like McDonald's app or whatever?
No.
No.
I use maybe Starbucks app every now and then. Because I think I get Delta Miles points through that.
Oh, you like to fly Delta?
I do.
Everybody gets a ride. I love it too. Do you what do you love about flying first class?
I never get to fly first class.
You're such a lie.
I just got upgraded because I buy a cheaper ticket, and then because I fly so much, I'm platinum, and they automatically upgrade you if they can.
What do you mean you don't fly first class?
I'm not made of money. I'm poor. I'm not poor. I'm just not first class. I fly so often. That would be so expensive. And I fly myself.
I fly myself.
I fly business, but you know.
Business and first is like the same thing. There's no difference anymore.
Exactly.
But this is what you have to do. You have to be compensated and facilitated at these gigs, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes you get just asked out of gigs because they can't do it.
But like I'm out there hustling right now. I'm building my audience. And so I'm, that'll come.
Do you watch Drag Race?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Are you watching the All-Stars?
I've seen 2 episodes.
Yeah. It's different. I like All-Stars usually because I have a pony in the race.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Wait, who's your pony?
Well, I mean, I have several because this season I know a few of the girls. But, my OG girl, Chanel, from back in the day, we did drag when we were babies together. Yeah. But I love watching it, but then, it only takes a couple of episodes for it to start going awry with the giving each other badges.
The badges.
It's so scary.
The badges, I can't keep track. I like to just see people go off. I love to see people lip sync. What's your favorite song to lip sync to?
Oh my gosh.
If you had to assassinate me right now.
I don't know if I could.
What would it be? Any song.
Honestly.
Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?
Yippee! Probably like a rap song.
Okay.
I love listening to like City Girls.
Oh, love City Girls.
Right? And I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy this quietly by myself because not all the lyrics are for me.
Right.
And I don't represent all of the lyrics.
Right.
But I do like listening to it.
Sure.
Right. They have a song called I can't remember the damn song. I don't know. What song would you lip sync to if we were?
We're like Private Dancer.
That's good.
Because you can
that's
really
like a strut.
Work your body.
Yeah, that's a strut.
Do some tricks.
If you had to pick a shoe for this, are you going to do a clear stripper platform, a plain black pump, or a thigh-high boot?
A plain back pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about feeling the ball of your foot on the ground so you don't feel like you're going to like tumble.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I used to go to Payless. And that was a good place to find women's shoes.
Back in the day, that was the place. Yeah, Comfort Plus. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
This is so fun.
Highlight of my career.
I am so excited. I can't wait to get together to do your show.
Please.
We didn't even get around to talking about my OnlyFans or your you have a Patreon, yes?
Yes, please subscribe.
Yeah. And what are some things people can look for on your Patreon?
Pretty soon I'm going to be doing like a weekly so I do my show on Sirius on Tuesdays, which is the beginning of the week live, talking about news and stuff. And at the end of the week I'm going to start posting a Patreon exclusive episode podcast, which is like a wrap up of the week. And a lot of like tits. I post a lot of my tits there.
Oh, like just yourself, like a black and white or in color?
Oh.
Have you ever posted pictures of yourself completely naked on a place where people can access that?
No.
You haven't.
Close, but no.
Close, but no.
Yeah.
Do you, when you go swimming, just to go swimming, do you wear a box cut trunk, like a loose trunk, a board short, or something like a bikini brief?
I will not do a Speedo.
You won't?
No. I have a tattoo here that I'm getting removed that I hate and I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
I just hate it. And also,
was it gotten like in haste or something?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was high off my balls.
Okay.
And it's like ugly to get. Tattoo removal is like your skin becomes like pork rinds. It becomes really disgusting to look at anyway. So I like to do a short, looser, but still sort of suggestively slutty brief.
So like, oh, okay.
Not
so
a
like,
brief, but a shorts.
Like a hoochie daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a 5-inch.
Yeah, that's still coverage.
Yeah.
That's still coverage. It leaves people to go.
I also don't like my butt.
Well, it's dead.
It's dead.
It's dead.
She's dead. She died.
It had died. Your butt had died. It happens. Thank you all so much for listening and watching Very Delta. Our show comes out every Monday. Subscribe to Mom Podcast YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. Search for Very Delta on your favorite podcast apps to listen to the audio-only version if you can't take all of the visual beauty of this. You can also sign up for our premium offerings on Mom Plus Gold by visiting mompodcast.plus, where you get weekly episodes of more Very Delta. Don't forget to send all of your questions to readmedelta@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram @DeltaWork. And where can people follow you?
At John Arthur Hill.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
On Patreon to see tits.
And my dead butt.
And dead butt. We'll see you next week right here. And until then, keep things very Delta.
Go off, Delta!
Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, a.k.a. Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Margot Padilla. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions.
Do you want your nipples hard?
Oh.
Mom!
To listen to Very Delta ad-free, 1 day early, and to get access to more Very Delta and all of Mom Podcast's premium content, check out Mom Plus Gold at mompodcast.plus.